Hi, guys. Welcome to the Insights and Influencers podcast. We're your hosts, Gracie Davis.
And Katie Smith.
And this podcast is all about the behind the scenes of influencing culture. On this podcast, we'll talk about the business side of influencing, how to get started, opportunities that influencing can bring, positives and negatives, and much more. Every episode will have a special guest who is involved in the influencing business to chat with us about their experiences. This week, we have Jake Lagana. Jake, you can introduce yourself.
Hello, my name's Jake Lagana. Nice to meet everybody.
Hi, Jake. Okay, so we brought Jake on today, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the business side of influencing, but also kind of just the behind the scenes and what he deals with. So, Jake, if you want to give us a little background about like who you are in your business and who you represent, go for it.
Yeah, totally. So I'm a junior here at High Point. I'm from like Rockland County, New York, and I own a brand called Pinnacle Club here on campus. I'm a computer science major, and I study data analytics and statistics. But I own a Pinnacle Club. It's a luxury loungewear brand, and we kind of specialize in like streetwear inspired designs, but with a nicer take on it. It's about a year and a half years old right now, so it's definitely still pretty young, but growing quickly. So you're definitely taking a lot of those like luxury kind of feels, but also incorporating that streetwear side of it to make it kind of more approachable to like a younger generation, but also still wearable for older people as well.
Cool. So what made you want to start Picnic Club, and like why Picnic Club in general, I guess?
Yeah, totally. So when I was a freshman going into my sophomore year at High Point, I was just like freelance designing for a brand for a little while, and I didn't love the direction of the brand. I just kind of wanted to do something on my own, and I just wanted to, kind of get into my own space and trying to try it out, and definitely had that business experience, because even if I didn't necessarily know what I was doing, I'd be able to figure it out and kind of learn from the experience. And I really didn't have much and to know about the clothing business, but I just know I like design and I know I like clothes. So I started from there. I started with like pretty simple shirts. They were fish t-shirts actually, where I would catch a fish. You can actually paint the fish with a certain material and then print them on the t-shirt, so it was like a stamp almost. And I started off by doing that. And I kind of broke into doing like wholesale licensing, and from a wholesaler. So I'm a registered LLC in the state of New York, and a bunch of other stuff. And I kind of just started from there. And the name Pinnacle Club specifically wasn't necessarily a cool like meaning behind it, but it was more so a name to do work underneath that had kind of streetwear elements to it, but it was still pretty. It wasn't too out there. It wasn't like I'm trying to think of an out there business right now, but it was pretty moderate, and I think that it works for a lot of different crowds, was something I knew I wanted to do, but also kind of kept that streetwear kind of higher end feel as well, which I was happy about. So I think the main purpose of the name specifically was just a place to do work underneath, and because I had designs stockpiled for a while, and I wasn't really sure what to do with them and how to put them out there, so I kind of just settled on that one day with some friends, and I went from there.
Nice. So what social medias do you have for Picnic Club right now?
So right now I use TikTok, Instagram. I use not really social media, but LinkedIn. I use those are the big three that I use. Twitter too, Facebook. Those are the other two. I mean, that's kind of what I stuck to right now, because it's definitely hard creating all that content and as like a single person and putting it all out there. But those are the main. I think it's 5 that I use, and I also use like a scheduler, so I schedule my posts for the week. So when I'm doing like a big release, I'll plan out 10 or 20, 30 posts for the week, and I can have them kind of just go out when I need them to go out, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that kind of brings us into our next question. So what specifically do you notice is challenging trying to run all of these social medias at once? Do you have people help you, or are you just doing it yourself? And what are kind of the main challenges you see on these social media platforms?
Totally. I think for Instagram specifically, I think it's definitely hard to grow. I mean, TikTok is something where you really get on the For You page. I mean, if you have like a good trending thing, you're on there and you can grow from that. But Instagram doesn't really have that, I feel like. I mean, it's different. I mean, I find that like a lot of people repost your stuff. That's really helpful, but I think that's definitely hard to grow on Instagram. And you can definitely maintain a following, but really, if you're getting following on Instagram, it's because people are talking about it, and then you get the following there. But I think generally with social media in general, it's hard to create that much content and just so often. I mean, not even that I have like a lack of ideas, but just kind of sitting down to dedicate the time to not only make sure it aligns with like my brand identity, but also like still looks good. It's still like high quality stuff. So I think that, I've been doing photo shoots here at High Point for I mean, I don't even know how many nights, and it'd be 5 or 6 hours for a photo shoot, and I sometimes can't take that time to do that. But it just takes a long time. It's a lot of work, and it's just me, and I have my girlfriend, obviously, and friends and family helping me out with that. But I mean, it's still hard to do it, especially with someone who doesn't really know the social media industry that well. And like, I struggle to make TikToks. I don't really know TikTok formats. It's something that I kind of struggle with, and I kind of stick with Instagram, and it definitely is something tough that I'm kind of learning as I get deeper and deeper in the business, for sure.
So have you used influencers in the past? I know Gracie did
Yeah.
something for you. Have you worked with any other influencers?
Yeah, there's a few on campus. I mean, I work with Gracie, Nicole Kelly, Melina Mercalis, and a few others. I can't remember everybody else, but Sam Shunny. And I essentially gave you guys some gear, and I said, please post with it. I mean, it doesn't even matter like what the post is. I just to get my name out there, because again, like, I was struggling with TikTok. I thought, and like, when I see what influencers like holding and using stuff, that it was a great thing for me, and I saw, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll try that product out. So, and honestly, it worked pretty well. So I was happy with that.
Yeah. So you found it beneficial to be using
Yeah,
influencers?
totally.
That's good. Yeah.
So what made you decide to like reach out to myself and other influencers on campus to grow your brand? Was it just like you had trouble growing and you just wanted to, move forward in that, or what made you ultimately like want to do that?
Yeah, I think the big thing for me was that I was kind of looking to build a new audience. Obviously, you can only sell so many sweaters to certain few people. So I think I was trying to grow my audience in that, and then I was having trouble with TikTok and stuff like that. So I figured, what's another route I can go in terms of like content creation and just getting out there in front of new eyes. Like, kind of like I said before, I think Instagram's pretty limited in terms of finding new eyes. So I felt like a good way to like leverage Instagram in that way that necessarily like isn't kind of built into Instagram, just using it as like an ad platform. Because I've run Instagram ads before, but I don't find them to be very lucrative. And honestly, I think it's kind of a waste of money, in my opinion, because it's really odd. I've talked to a lot of people within the industry about it. You'll either find a great ad and it will kill and would do awesome, or your ad would just not do anything, and it's so unpredictable. So I think the influencer part was definitely great, and I'm definitely working on doing it again, and with a bunch more people too.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I remember when I worked with you and
Yeah.
you reached out, and I was
Yeah.
so excited because I love all Picnic Club
Thank you.
stuff. I just like didn't own any
Yeah,
previously.
Thank you.
So that was really fun to like work together.
totally.
and-
I love that. Yeah,
And I like how also like you made it really chill, and you like let each influencer kind of like use their creative freedom to do what they
Totally.
wanted to do. You weren't like strict on like, this is exactly what I need, but I think it's good to branch out, and find other people who really do love your brand and are interested in posting about it. And then you can also get more ideas for your TikToks or Instagram,
Yeah,
like
totally.
more content to repurpose. So that was really fun to work together.
yeah, it was great.
So you said that you're planning on maybe working with influencers again in the future.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely looking to do that. I have a lot of projects in the works right now, so I'm kind of rein everything in right now. But I think in the future I'm definitely looking to do that, because it's just I think it's probably one of the best forms of marketing that I've found so far. I think it's otherwise, again, I think that ads and like TikToks are so unpredictable. It's really hard for me to like put money towards an ad that I don't know is gonna do well, and it's just like I'm not sure. And I'd rather give stuff away and have people wear it and then post it. And that's I'm putting more material and merch out there, and I'm also like getting more posts from it. I would love everybody who bought something posted in it, but it's kind of unrealistic. So that's definitely like a way to kind of bump up that idea.
Yeah, I feel like that's smart marketing. And a lot of the micro influencers who don't have like a huge following, they kind of get more reach to people. So they're actually more
100%.
influential. But it's smart to be gifting at first, especially if you're not as big as you want to be and you don't really have the funds to be maybe like paying these influencers.
That's a huge thing
But
too.
yeah, it's very smart to be gifting it, because I know there's a ton of influencers, like even Gracie still accepts like gifted collabs that you don't have to be paid for.
It's definitely like hard to again like put money towards it. And obviously at the end of the day, it's like it's still money obviously going towards it, but I'd much rather give like sweatshirts and merchandise for as long as I can, because again, and also I'm happy to give my stuff out. I like when people wear it. I like people seeing like wear it on campus and stuff like that. So I'm happy to do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when people do wear them around campus, that even promotes more of
Yeah,
your brand.
exactly.
They don't have to post in it generally, like, to promote you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like someone will see someone wearing it in class and be like, "Oh, I like your sweatshirt. Where's it from?"
My sister's teacher actually was like, "Oh, have you heard of this blend PC to her class? 'Cause
Oh my
everyone's
God,
wearing the
that's so
hat," which is pretty funny. And my sister was like, "Oh, that's my brother," which is pretty funny. Yeah, yeah.
That
So-
is funny. I love that. So this is kind of unrelated, but I saw over the summer you did like a pop-up shop in New York kind of for Picnic Club. Can you talk a little bit about that and like how that was?
Yeah, I mean, that honestly, that was one of the best two. I mean, so I did two, and they were a few days apart. One of the best days in terms of chilling that I've had so far. I think that in-person format is like just so valuable, and it's so underused for small brands and small businesses. Like it makes such a difference, and I didn't even know that, and I kind of did it off as like I'll give it a shot. I actually found some driftwood that I sanded and painted. I built some like A-frame racks for the driftwood. I mean, the piece was about 16 feet long, so it was a very hard thing to transport. It was actually an old telephone pole, and then I hand bent like 20 hangers because the metal didn't fit around the actual pole itself. So I did all that, and it came out great. It was definitely like a vision that I had for it, and it came out exactly how I wanted it. But I mean, for me, that in-person format was huge, and it's like getting in front of people to say, here it is, like touch it, feel it, try it on. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you like it, that's awesome. And I think that was something that was huge for me. So I think I definitely am looking to do that more in the future. I mean, I'm also, so right now through High Point, I'm applying to do a business plan competition. I'm looking for funding to build a cargo trailer into a traveling store. So it'd be like 8.5 foot wide, like 18 or 20 foot trailer. That'd be like a fully functioning store with like a point of sale system, clothing racks, TV, couch, everything in there. And kind of just take it to places like beaches, I don't know, bars, street fairs, whatever. And kind of you people can walk in, buy stuff, and sell. And I think that's something I'm kind of trying to do more of this coming summer, hopefully.
That's so cool. Yeah, I saw that on your Instagram.
Yeah,
And I was like, that is awesome. And also, like you said, in person is always, of course, a good way, but it's also a good way to like get your social media handles out there too. Because if someone comes in person, they're like, oh, like I can't buy this right now for whatever reason.
100%.
And they're like, oh, I'll follow you and purchase from you.
That happened so often. Like I had business cards with QR codes on them, and I would just give them to people. Like the place I'm doing it at, I also worked at, so a lot of people just knew me because I worked there, and they were like, they'd take my Instagram down, and you know, obviously following Instagram isn't like a guaranteed sale or whatever, but I was happy to see people like roaming the Instagram and stuff like that. And even if they didn't buy then immediately, I was just grateful that they were like, you know, would give me a follow and help me grow that way. And, you know, if they saw something they liked in the future, that could be cool too. And they could bust them from there. And I was happy with that too. So I think that it's like getting in front of people in that way too, just to be able to put my Instagram out there for people who might not see it again was pretty cool.
Yeah, and even if it's not generating sales necessarily, just getting people to engage or even impressions is good, because then that's those people who follow it goes on their algorithm, and then you're just getting 100%. The Instagram account out there. And I feel like a good idea for the travel like cargo thing you were talking about, TikTok would probably be, I see stuff like that on TikTok all the time, like coffee trucks, and
100%.
You should totally utilize.
I was going to do like a build through on that.
Yeah,
and something
that would do really well.
I mean, again, obviously, hopefully I secure the funding, but I think the big thing was like I was going to try and do like a video montage of me building it, because I'd be buying the trailer, but also like I'd be building it individually. So I thought that would be a huge opportunity, because I mean, I love watching like people like, I don't know, build a bookcase
like
in their house, you know, whatever it is. Yeah. So I think that'd be a cool thing to do too. So I'm definitely looking forward to doing that possibly. And just kind of like, again, it's something new. That's something that's different. The people that, again, because the cargo trailer in itself is kind of different, but also maybe kind of adding a new social media aspect for me, which is, you know, walking people through how I did it. Because I know when I built the pop-up shop for the summer, I did Instagram updates about like how I was doing it so far. People were swiping up saying, oh, how's it going? Like, how are you doing this? Whatever. And people started to see it come through. So hopefully I'll get the same kind of following and rally to see this come through, hopefully too. Yeah. And
also like Katie said, like the van or cargo would be great for content. And then pop-up shops too, of course, like you said, even if you don't make a sale, but you get a follower, you're still getting content too there, because you can take so many pictures of what you're doing, the before, the after, the setup, like the during. And then if people are willing to be reposted on your Instagram, you take a picture of someone like buying, you know what I mean? So
I mean, that was literally exactly how they went for the summer. And it was just people like swiping, saying, oh my gosh, wow, that's really cool. I want to learn more about it. I want to come to the next one. That was a huge part of it too, that you know, almost was more valuable than the actual sale itself, but was just building the social following, because having people just know about it and know that's happening, and knowing that, you know, there's stuff in the future you might like, so why don't you give it a follow? You like this stuff now, I don't want it right now, it's fine, whatever it is, no pressure, but having people in the future kind of looking after it was really cool too.
Yeah, the algorithm definitely works in crazy ways. And I agree with what you said. It's a little harder to grow on Instagram.
Yeah.
And TikTok, I feel like, is a great way. You know, but videos go viral all the time, the
Totally.
most random videos. And it's very easy to like get a specific niche out there because the algorithm's so specific to people. So yeah, I feel like that would be really good content. I'm excited to see what comes out of that.
Yeah, me too.
So what like goals do you have for Picnic Club in the future, or where do you see yourself going in the next like 5 years with Picnic Club?
I think for the next year, obviously, I think I really want to, hopefully, again, I'm hoping that the competition goes well, get some funding for it. I want to build that out within the next year and kind of do a lot of work with that next year or two. I hope in the future again to a brick and mortar store, but I also know that's definitely a dying industry right now, but I hope to do it in a way that's pretty Picnic Club specific and has like a unique twist on it, kind of like the cargo trailer or something I want to do as well. And in terms of just social media generally, I hope to build a kind of like a definitely different aspects of social media too. Like one thing I had an idea, I wanted to do something called like the Sunday Scramble, and I would want to basically have like a cartoon strip come out every Sunday about just like not even Picnic Club related, just something funny to put out there and just kind of make it more of a relaxed kind of thing. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with Whalebone, but they do something like that. Whalebone magazine, I think they have a great Instagram. It's very relaxed. They have funny stuff on there, but it also looks great. I wanted to do something like that where it's very respected, but also has its own kind of twist and spin on it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Also, I feel like a lot of brands do organic posts like that where it's not just pushing out the brand, like buy this, click here, you know, to show that the brand has like a tone of voice and a personality and like funniness, quirkiness, whatever tone you might want to choose is a really good idea.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you everyone so much for tuning in on today's podcast of Insights and Influencers. Make sure to follow us on Instagram for daily updates and stay tuned for our website. We also have our TikTok up, so go follow us on that. And follow Jake on Picnic Club. Jake, if you want to drop your Instagram or TikTok, go for it.
Yep, it's just Picnic Club XYZ on Instagram, and then I honestly don't remember my TikTok, but it'll come up. So, but
we'll put it in the caption.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me also on. I was happy to do this.
Thank you
it was a great
coming
time.
on.
Yeah.
Tune in next time for our next episode of Insights and Influencers. We'll have another special guest. And if you have any questions for us, feel free to reach out to us on any platforms or reach out to Jake at Picnic Club XYZ on Instagram. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and we hope to see you on our next episode.
Bye.
Thank you.